This is my costume for a space dive.
Why does it look like a pile of dirty laundry?
Yeah, but we're gonna fix that. So these are all the pieces and accessories for my space dive costume. I am sort of a cast character by my own choosing. I play a town drunk. I'm also a Ferrixian. I'm from Ferrix. I've had several costumes over the years. Started with smugglers and bounty hunters and whatever, but ever since Andor, I really fell in love with the people of Ferrix and the blue-collar feel of their costumes, their construction attire just really kind of struck me as like what I wanted to build out. So over the last few years, I've been slowly putting together this costume, and I think this is going to be its final form, because what I've created now is not just a costume, but it's a wardrobe system for this character. His name's Jerrick Zamar, and he is from Ferrix, and he works for the Outer Rim Supply Company, and he's basically an intergalactic Amazon delivery driver. He's just stopping through the cantina on his route because he's got some downtime in between shipments, and he likes a little bit of drink. So this became a multi-layer system, a multi-tier system based on weather. So the event Space Dive is over several different days over the weekends. There's 2 weekends and Kids Days and then May the 4th. So depending on what the weather is, what the time of day is, and just how fatigued I am depending on what I'm wearing, I'll change up the costume layering, but it's still within his wardrobe. And now I had to add, because last year it rained for like an entire day and I had nothing that was in universe to fit his costume. So this year I got a poncho from Etsy, and it's a wonderful poncho, but it's just cotton, and I'm going to wax it so that it's an actual piece of weather gear to protect me from the weather. So when it's raining, I have something to wear, or if it's cold, it'll act like a jacket. But it's brand new. It needs some roughing up. It needs some weathering. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a panel on it and add some wax to it so that it's an actual piece of weather gear. I also got this vest, which needs some weathering because it's brand new. And if you saw in one of my previous videos, the Andor gloves are off video, this is a new addition for this year. And I also added this entire paratrooper lineman belt system for this year. So he's got a lot of accessories, and we're going to go through and weather all of them together to unify them, but we're going to touch each piece separately as we move through. And the first thing we're going to start with is this poncho. It's way too new, and it actually doesn't work as a poncho, because if it were to rain, it's just going to be a wet piece of canvas. So we need to fix that. We'll add some other details, and as we go through the whole costume, then we'll do a reveal to show all the different layers, all the different types of ways that I can wear it, so you can see like the versatility and how this costume has, like I said, become a wardrobe system for this character. So he has different outfits based on time of day, weather, and different things like that. There's also some things I want to upgrade. Some of it has been weathered, some of it hasn't at all. So we're going to get into it. Okay, so this poncho is the first thing we're going to address. It looks fantastic. I got it off of Etsy. I'm really happy with it, but it's brand new. It's not weatherproof or waterproof, but it fits the part perfectly. I threw some greeblies on it that I already had from previous versions of my costume, but I want to paint this panel with this red color to break up the silhouette a little bit, and then we're going to use otter wax. And we're going to use a heat gun, and we're going to wax the entire surface of this so that it actually is waterproof. Because right now, if it gets wet, it's just going to turn into a wet canvas sack, and we don't want that. We want it to actually protect us from the weather. So we're going to start at the top, go heavy on the hood and the shoulders, and then kind of work our way down. I got a heat gun. We're going to do that outside. So let's go out there and do that. And here's the final result. It came out amazing. It feels wonderful. It actually added to its R value. It's like warmer than it was before, which is great. I wore it last night down to the set for Space Dive to help build stuff. Wore it the whole time I was building. Might as well get it broke in. It looks really good. It feels really good. It's comfortable to wear. It's definitely warmer because it was chilly last night. And it's going to protect me from the rain. That was the main purpose, was that I needed a jacket and a raincoat, and this fulfills both. And I'm very, very happy with how it looks. It's starting to wear in already just from wearing it for one day. It's getting that tonal variation from the wax canvas. It feels like a brand new Outback jacket. Like if you ever had one of those trench coats like I had when I was 15, because I was one of those kids. This is it feels just as good as my barber jacket. I'm very, very happy with how it took. It took a lot longer than I expected and a lot more wax than I expected. The outer wax bars are great if you're like resurfacing something, but if you're putting brand new wax into brand new canvas, it's going to take a whole lot. It took a whole nother pint of the actual dressing that I applied with the heat gun. It took a lot of time. It took me almost 4.5, 5 hours of just applying wax to get it to where it's evenly coated and fully saturated through all of the fabric. But the result is totally worth it. I'm very, very happy. This will last years to come and look better as it ages. Just from wearing it, it's going to make it look amazing because it will just take on that, real world use. We'll still do some tonal variation and rough it up with an airbrush, but that'll be the final step with everything. So the next thing on our list is this vest. This vest, again, is a brand new purchase from Etsy. I love how it looks. It matches my costume amazing. I'm very happy with it. It's much lighter and thinner, even though it does have a lining, than my puffer vest that I used to wear. Because in the summertime, on the hot days, it's really hot, and so this will be better, but it screams brand new. It's very bright. It needs to be toned down. So we're going to do a tea bath or a coffee bath, or maybe a little bit of acrylic paint added to water and just soak it just to tone the whole thing down a little bit. I've seen people do it with Rit dye. Rit dye kind of scares me because it also just can mess up other things in your house. So I just don't like to mess with the dye, but some coffee, some paint. And then again, as we come to the final passes, we'll still do some, tonal variation with airbrush and some specific places for dyeing, and then rough up some spots with some sandpaper and this and that to give it a little bit more of a worn look. But first thing is to just take this freshly dyed fabric look out of it, plus it'll tone down some of the thread, hopefully. I mean, it just depends on if this is cotton or if it's nylon, but either way it'll help. So let's move on and do that next, and we'll do that now. So this is after 2 times in the bath, the solution that I made of tea, coffee, and a little bit of brown acrylic paint. I'm very overall happy with how it knocked down the vibrance of it and knocked down the red to more of a muted red. It's not so screaming bright red. These threads, however, are probably nylon because they took basically no dye at all, but it doesn't bother me at all. They still look good. And when it comes to tonal variation and sweat stains and dirt and stuff like that, we're going to do that with the airbrush. That'll be the last step in the process of unifying the entire costume. On the other hand, I'm really happy with how this shirt took this color. So it kind of came out with this yellow, not quite a mustard color, but it's a good contrast to the rest of the costume. I really like how it just kind of took that color, and it makes it look more, in the color scheme of Ferrix. They all have these yellow and orange tones and earth tones. So I'm really happy with how that goes. Now these are my overalls, and they're like mechanic overalls. They got lots of weird spacey pockets on them, and I really like that. What I don't like is this traditional farmer's style latch or loop hook system. So I want to upgrade them to be Cobra clips. It'll look way more Star Wars and just kind of complete this so that if for some reason I don't have my vest on, you don't see these. It's the one thing that's always bothered me about these overalls. And so I had an idea for how to put these on there and what I was going to do. But tonight there just so happens to be a workshop for all of the cast and crew to modify their costumes, to work with the costume shop, to make changes to the costume, to fix things, to make it look more in the Star Wars universe. And everybody's costume has to go through costuming, and let's go over and talk to them, and maybe they have some suggestions on how to add this to the costume, how to modify it, and get a little bit of their insight since they're there. So let's go do that. And we're back. I met with Jessica down there at Space Dive, and all the volunteers and all the leads are so wonderful to talk to and work with. I didn't get an interview because it got a little chaotic with people coming in for costume fittings, for alterations, and for just all of their general needs. And but she helped me out. She did some hand stitching for me. We replaced the hardware, so I have Star Wars hardware now and not farmer hardware. I'm really happy with the results. I'm going to pop a few rivets and some stuff. We're going to go through and do some updates to a few other things, but we're going to start having at everything with file, sandpaper, and the airbrush. If you look at my older pieces that have already been weathered, there's a lot of detail that's been added with the airbrush to create these, sweat stains and wear marks and stuff like that. We're going to do that to the entire costume piece by piece, which will unify the entire costume, give it an overall lived-in appearance, and make it really feel like it's an in-universe living character. So we're going to move forward with that. We're going to speed run through the rest of it. So let's load up the airbrush and get started. Okay, so we're done. We've gone through and added all the grime, went through with the airbrush, added some rough up with the rasp and a file and some sandpaper, and now I think the end result is perfect.
I want to fully understand. You took a pile of dirty laundry, added more filth, and somehow that is a more desirable outcome.
Exactly. Let's take a look. And that's my costume for Jerrick, the Ferrixian who works for the Outer Rim Supply Company. And the whole goal was to create a wardrobe for this specific character. And I'm very happy with the outcome. I'm very happy with all of the pieces, all the different variations of how I can wear it. And the best part about Space Dive, although it is a Star Wars themed party, it's not how many Han Solos show up. It's not how many Darth Vaders are there, or screen accuracy. It's about being a character that's just a citizen of the galaxy who's passing through Mos Eisley. So the more that you can just embrace the style of Star Wars and the look of the in-universe feel and flesh out your own character, the better the environment is, the better the experience is, and the more fun and filled out that world feels. The bar, the cantina, the garrison, the streets of Mos Eisley just populated with its galaxy of citizens. So if you appreciate that kind of stuff, check it out, spacedive313.com. And if you like this channel, like and subscribe. I haven't said that before, but the direction of this channel has been very positive and very rewarding, and I have many more projects on deck. I have some big builds, some small builds. I have a cyber deck planned. I have a Muppet. I have lots of other things coming up. So stick around if you like it, and I appreciate you coming to the end of this. And always there'll be something after the credits. So see you next time. really ready for a shot of whiskey.